We would now like to invite the regional chairman of this region, the lovely Miss Vilma De Silva.
Thank you, Sessional Chair, Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Minister Zulfikar Mustapha, Director General, Mr. Ricky Ramraj, and all other visiting delegation from the Ministry of Agriculture, or Regional Vice Chair, Prime Minister Rep, and regional officials, farmers, residents, and of course I see former MP in the crowd, Mr. Damon. A pleasant good morning. Today we are indeed honored again in Region 2 to witness the commissioning of a very, very important structure here in our region. As I recall, when we took office in 2020, we were on the ground here, right, Vice? On the initial stage, negotiating where to relocate, and we had some hurdles. However, I'm very grateful on behalf of the Regional Democratic Council of Region Number 2 to see this in reality here today. I know we always have a built-up of water in this area whenever we have heavy rains, and it was very, very challenging for us. And as I said, many sleepless nights with myself and the Vice Chair when we get these phone calls. But I'm so happy to know that with a caring government and all that the Ministry of Agriculture has done for Region Number 2, I can proudly say that farmers, you're in good hands. You have a caring government, and all that you have brought to the table has been fulfilled. And we are very, very grateful for that. I know we have challenges in terms of when we have our crop time. We always get called to who to get water first and all the challenges with the different structure within the system. But I want to say also, all those will be addressed also in this, under this administration. And to continue all the progress, of course, you know, you have to give us that second chance, because we're almost through with all the infrastructure needed to facilitate the free flow of drainage for the rice farmers within the region. And that is what I'm very proud and happy about, to see that we were able to combat all the challenges that you might have faced. And as you know, we must give our hard-working, committed and dedicated Minister of Agriculture a big round of applause. Also, through with his intervention through the NDIA, we have been seeing tremendous changes within the agriculture drainage structure in our region. To extend, right now in the Pomeroon, we hadn't any talk about flooding. All the infrastructure work also are ongoing there, so it's not limited alone to the Essequibo coast, but also in the Pomeroon area. Everybody is high in praise of what the government has been doing for farmers throughout the length and breadth of Guyana, and to extend our beautiful region. So once again, on behalf of the Regional Democratic Council of Region Number 2, I want to say a big thank you to our Honorable Minister, well, the President, through the Ministry of Agriculture too, for doing a tremendous job for our beautiful region, Region Number 2. We are forever grateful, and I can assure you and to His Excellency that definitely Region 2 is 100% support behind His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali. Come 2025, we will be back there to ensure that we have continued success and progress in our beautiful region. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You know, one of the hallmarks of the PPPC government is the consultative approach to development as it occurs across the country. And this particular project entailed lots and lots of consultation. I know that Mr. Ramraj was part of leading that consultative process in which the farmers, residents, all had a say in the location of the pump and all that they wanted this pump to be able to do. So that's what we call a caring government, not a government that manages from the top down, but certainly from the bottom up, in tandem with the needs of the communities across the country. We'd now like to invite a cultural item. Someone from the region will come forward and have our first cultural presentation.
My poem is entitled Water. Water, water everywhere, to wash my hands and wash my hair. It's nice to drink it by the pool, slurp it, sip it nice and cool. It comes from clouds, don't you know, falls in rain and also snow. Keep it clean or you will be sick as sick can be. We are lucky here at Andrews to have clean water to keep us cool. Think of others when you get paid and give a bit to water aid.
All right. We'd now like to invite a farmer representing all the farmers in the region to offer a few thoughts on the establishment of this pump station. You can come up now.
Oh, you ain't got no direct person.
I'd just like to say thanks to the government, the Minister of Agriculture for the pump and the benefit our farmers. It will benefit our farmers very well and we will not flood anymore. And I'd just like to say thank you.
Our feature address is going to be delivered by a man who is a man of the people. He's been described in many ways. The farmers think he's the best thing since sliced bread. He's a guy who listens. He doesn't come here and speak to you or down to you. He listens. At all the meetings recently that we've attended, the policy has been to first listen to the concerns of the farmers, listen to what they need, and then to share with them what's been happening in agriculture, what are the plans for the future, and how, as farmers, you can play a role in that plan of getting ahead in the business of agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustapha.
Thank you very much, Mr. Christopher Holder, Director General, Regional Chair, Vice Chair, Chairman of NDIA, and other staff from the Ministry of Agriculture, and more importantly, farmers here who are our stakeholders. Today, as I said, or many persons would have said, is an important day for your community. It's another commitment from the PPP civic government that we are about to fulfill. A commitment that was made when we went to ask for the mandate of the people of our country. And we said that you put us in government and we will ensure that we deliver to ease the burden on your life. And today is another example that your government, the PPP civic government, is once again delivering to the people in Andrews, to the people on the Essequibo coast, and to the farmers. This rehabilitation and commissioning of the Andrews pump station is an important milestone for the agricultural activities and also for the economic development of this region. We have seen massive transformation taking place around our country. And Essequibo is an area for us, our region 2, is an area for us that holds important, or is an important area for us. And this project symbolizes our commitment to the people of Essequibo, as I know for a fact that Region 2 is an area that over 90% of the population depend on agriculture. It's an agricultural region. And you depend on the government to put in the necessary resources to ensure that we build the necessary infrastructure so that you can ply your trade in a manner that you can take care of your family and other necessities in life. With approximately 50,000, just under 50,000 residents, many of whom are engaged, as I said, in agriculture, this activity that we are conducting here this morning to commission this pump is an activity that will bring tremendous benefit to you. As you know, Essequibo, as I said, is an important link in our production hub in the country. You heard the Director General just spoke about 34,000 acres of land now are under cultivation. He mentioned that I myself went and visited the pump at Dawa when we had the prolonged dry weather condition. And many persons at that time doubted us that the area, Region 2, will sow at that time 32,000 acres that they normally do, or they used to do in that period. But we were able to prove them wrong, and we show them with the work that we did over that period and the partnership that we formed with the farmers. In that dry period, we were able to sow uncultivated over 34,000 acres of rice. That was a record for Region 2 during the dry period. That tells us a story that if we can work together, if we have a government that is responsive to the needs of the people, then we will have development. And as I said, that this is one of the projects that we are commissioning here this morning, which will bring tremendous benefit to the people on the coast. What we are doing, we are modernizing the sector. We are modernizing the drainage and irrigation sector. And if you look over the last 4 years, since 2020 that we have assumed government, the PPP Civic has expended in this critical area, agriculture, over $5 billion to deal and to rehabilitate the infrastructure, to make the infrastructure more responsive so that you, the farmers, can enjoy better facilities. This pump station here is another one that we are commissioning on the Essequibo. You heard the one at Cosia that we commissioned a couple months or a month ago. Today we are commissioning the Andrews pump station. In another 2 to 3 weeks, we will be commissioning pump stations at Trafalgar, Montrose, Lilienthal, Canals, Polder. Another 4 pump stations will be commissioned. You will not see the naysayers and the doomsayers talk about these things now. You heard the chairman of NDIA talk about the delay that we had because of the change of design and certain other factors that have contributed. And every single day, those persons, the naysayers, always highlight that these pump stations are not completed. But I have news for them. As I said, we have already commissioned pump station at Adventure, Greenwich Park, Cosia. We are now commissioning this here today, and another 4 within another 3 weeks. Over 10 pump stations will be commissioned in this country under the Ministry of Agriculture through the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority in less than 4 years. And the cost of this pump station here this morning is $528 million, as Lionel rightly said. But some are over. Some are close to $1 billion, 900 and something million dollars. You tell me, and you add those together, only pump stations, how much money we have expended to modernize the infrastructure. That only in the agriculture sector from pump stations. You heard the Comrade talk about the sluices. Thousands of kilometer rods of canals were rehabilitated. I myself came and met with the small contractors at the RDC when I told them that we have to have certain standard to maintain these canals. They said that they need help. What help they need? They need help to us to excavate the canal to get it deeper. And I made a decision there that over $100 million, $119 million was budgeted and executed in that area to help the small contractor rehabilitate the canal so that the farmers can have irrigation water. In other areas, you will see we are opening up over 10,000 acres of land on the undermining area there that the president has committed to. We are building an all-weather road in that community, and farmers will have access to over 10,000 acres of land. For the next few months, the president was here not so long ago, less than a month. I accompanied him and he made certain commitment. He said that he will make available $400 million to develop some all-weather roads on the Essequibo coast to ensure that farmers have proper access. Because they were complaining that they need all-weather roads. So the demands is moving. For example, when your drainage system is being addressed, you need proper road. And the president committed that when he get back to Georgetown, he will make available approximately $400 million to build these all-weather roads on the Essequibo. And I want to tell you here this morning that places like Dartmouth, Bushlock, Turdep, Queenstown, Affiance, Mariah's Lodge, or Mariah's Delight, those are the area will have new all-weather road and it'll start very short. So these are the commitment. When we make commitment, these are the things that we are doing. Also, 2 timber bridges will be built at State Farm. So that those were some of the issues raised. You heard the capacity of this pump is 280 cubic feet water per minute it will pump. So this will help us tremendously to drain the area. We are modernizing the sector. And I want to tell you here this morning, the chairman, Mr. Holder, spoke about consultation. And this is consultation, that's what we are doing. We came to the farmers, we came to the residents, and we asked them your needs. What are your needs? And these are the things I want. They want project that will benefit them to improve their life, to increase production, to make Essequibo more developed. And we are responding to the needs of the people. We are not like the last government, the AFCA-PNU government, who bought 12 undersized pump and engine. Up to now, we are trying to get back our money from the contractor in India. They bought 12 engine and pumps. All are undersized, cannot function efficiently. They sent 4 to the Essequibo coast, never function. Now we have to deal with it. We have to ensure that we deal with those things. Without any consultation, without any proper studies, They just went and purchased these pumps. When it was raised in Parliament, I said those were fire engines. Even fire engine is throwing out more water than those pumps.
One never built.
And one, here the man is saying. So, I am saying, comrades, that you have a government that is working in your interests, that is working to improve the life of you and your family. A government that is developing your community, that brings development, not only in the agriculture sector, which is more, and I don't have any apologies that all of us who are here will agree that the agriculture sector is one of the most important sector for us, because it's producing food. Without food, we can't survive. That is why, as a government, we have a vision to move this sector, develop this sector. As I am speaking here today, you heard the President on numerous occasions talk about food security in our country. Whilst we are going and developing the infrastructure to increase production in the traditional areas, like rice, fruits and vegetables and so, we are going to new areas. While we are expending money to improve the coastal area here, so that you can benefit more in terms of infrastructural development, we are also expending large sums of money to develop the other areas across our country. For example, billions of dollars have been expended in the Pomeroon area to develop the Pomeroon. You heard the Director General just talked about the Pomeroon and the Prime Minister who have went there and some of the commitment that we have made. I remember that when I visited the Pomeroon, the President and I, many persons complained about flood, that the crop always destroyed with the flooding that used to take place in the Pomeroon. We decided that we have to ensure that we have better drainage system. We expended over $500 million to dredge the Pomeroon River mouth, so that you can have better drainage in the Pomeroon River. Now, when you go to the Pomeroon, you see the water when the tide is low. When the water is falling, the tide is low, the water is very low. But that is not all what we do. We work with the farmers. Hundreds of farmers. And you know, besides rice, the Pomeroon produce a lot of other crops. A lot, and that area does be one of the most productive area on the Essequibo in terms of other crops production. And we want to take back that, or bring back the Pomeroon to where it was, or surpass what you used to do before. We work with hundreds of farmers to lift their beds, do bed and drains, put in infrastructure like these black tubes. And you go there today now, and you see how many produce, and you see the increase in production coming out from the Pomeroon today. We are working also with the farmers in the Pomeroon to start back large-scale production in cocoa and coffee. We already have a program with ICA where we will be supplying all the planting material. We have already started to supply planting material to the farmers in the Pomeroon. We are working with them to continue to develop the coconut industry, bringing in new varieties of coconut. We already distributed to the farmers and in the Pomeroon over 4,000 high-yielding Brazilian green dwarf coconut plants, so that we can resuscitate the coconut industry in the Pomeroon. Over the last 4 years, we have seen over 6,000 acres of coconut, new coconut production, new coconut cultivation came into being. We are looking to increase other production. And when I said we are increasing, the comrade enjoy the holiday, right? When I say that we are increasing the traditional crop, many persons might say where? But let me tell you all something. I don't know how many of you all would have known this. For the first time since the introduction of rice in our country, this year we have surpassed the 700,000 ton mark for the first time. To date, we have produced 725,000 tons of rice for year 2024, the largest production in the history of our country. That's an achievement for us. And I'm hoping that we will surpass that again in the new year. So that is why you are seeing the kind of results that we are having. We are working to ensure that Guyana becomes a food hub, that Guyana becomes one of the premier producers of food in the Caribbean. You all know that our president, His Excellency, who is very passionate about this sector, who wants to ensure that agriculture remains one of the most important activity for us. We are now building a food hub on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway at Yarrow Cabra. We have already signed an MOU with the state of Roraima to partner with them. You know for a fact that shortly we'll have the ferry service commence running between Guyana, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago. President already pronounced too that the ferry service will come to Parika. You have a chance. Because when it comes to Guyana, we'll have to have produce to send it out back over to the other countries. That is why traditionally we are expanding and increasing production, but in the other areas, the new areas, we are seeing massive transformation taking place too. You might not have known what is happening. We are saying by next year, 2025, we must be self-sufficient in producing all our corn and soya needs. We must satisfy our needs. We are hoping that by next year, we can cultivate 25,000 acres of corn and soya. If we can do that 2 years, then we will be self-sufficient and we will produce all our needs. As long as we can produce all our needs, we will be saving approximately $40 million US. We have already built in the Takama Savannah barren land where people condemn and say nothing can grow on it. Thousands of acres of soya being cultivated there now. We have transformed the Takama Savannah. We have built hundreds of kilometers of roads. We have built silos there. Now we are increasing the capacity to 18,000 tons. We are building a wharf with a conveyor system. So the entire Takama Savannah is being transformed so that we can produce all our corn and soya coming out there. We have started infrastructural work at Kimbia, where we have investors going to invest in the production of black-eyed peas and red beans. We are hoping by the mid-2025 that we will be producing all our needs in red beans and black-eyed peas. So we can save again money going out to purchase these things. We can export these things to the Caribbean. So in the agriculture sector, we are seeing massive transformation taking place. We have started the production of Vanami prawns. We have our first harvest, which was selling at the Christmas village. It's been packaged and been sold to Guyanese. Very shortly, we'll start to export those prawns. We have increased production. We have increased production in brackish water shrimp from 10,000 kilograms monthly to approximately 100 to 120,000 kilograms monthly now. For the first 10 months of 2024, we have produced over 1 million kilograms of brackish water shrimp in our country. These are the kind of investment that we are making in the livestock sector. We have already over 200 or 300 farmers have already benefited from the black belly sheep program. They have received breeding rams. They have received other things. Now they are working with GLDA to develop the brand that Guyana and Barbados is working to develop, a Guyana brand, to replace the New Zealand lamb and the Australian lamb coming to this part of the world. We have started embryo transplant for the first time in the history of our country in the capital area. We have now started embryo transplant. We have already done 300 embryo transplant, which was very successful, and we are continuing to work in that. We have expanded the artificial insemination program. So when we talk about agriculture, unlike the previous government that doesn't have any clue what they were talking about, this is agriculture that we're talking about. It must not be rice production or cash crop production. We are seeing increase in different areas and all sectors. That is why I am happy. I am very happy to know that in all the sectors besides sugar, we are seeing massive growth. And we are working with sugar to ensure that we increase production in the sugar area too. And we bring back sugar where it was because of the neglect. Because of the neglect that took place from 2015 to 2020. When no money was expended in the factories to recapitalize the factories, to put money into the cultivation, to modernize the cultivation, to build broadbeds so that we can mechanize the cultivation. That is what the result we are having today. But over the last 4 years, I want to tell you that we have been working systematically with Guysuco to bring back it to its former glory. We have seen massive transformation taking place. And I am very optimistic as Minister of Agriculture that Guysuco will once again be profitable to the country. So comrades, as I said, this morning that we are commissioning is just another commitment that we have made to the people of our country, to you, the people on the Essequibo coast, and we are delivering on it. And over the last 4 years, if you look at that, our achievement is tremendous. All the wrong things, all the pressure, all the anti-farmers measures that was placed on the backs of the Guyanese farmers have been taken away by the People's Progressive Party civic government. Here, the man is heckling me about the taxes. The taxes is only one. The taxes is only one. You have taxes, over 200 taxes. You have tax, VAT and machinery, insecticides, chemical oil, you name it. We reduce it. They increase land rental and DNI charges from $3,500 to $15,000. We take away back and we reverse it to $3,500. With that one measure alone, farmers were able to save over $1 billion in their pocket in Region 5. So we don't put pressure on the people. We come and ease the pressure. We bring benefit to the people of our country. And when you have all these naysayers and doomsayers talking about oil funds, you see where the oil funds going. Even the people getting cash grant now with the oil funds. So we must be, and you know, let me tell you what, at the Vice President press conference, he always mentioned it. The oil funds is only 30% of our budget. We have to find money to fill this other 70%. So when they talk about oil funds, they think so much of money, we fund all the budget and everything. Only 30% of our budget is being funded by the oil funds, oil revenue. So, ladies and gentlemen, the work we are doing here is not just about infrastructure. It's about empowering